Happy Thanksgiving in the good old US of A. And over the last few years, I have made this the day I make my annual predictions for the theme park world. Not only am I gonna blast you with everything except the cold hard truth, I also gotta hold myself accountable for last year's picks, so we'll take a look at those also. I want to tell you what coaster will be the first to open, which coaster will open way too late to the point of embarrassment, what coaster will be the sleeper hit, who will win all the major golden ticket awards, which coasters will close down, which parks will announce a new coaster, and end with a bold prediction. These are my 2025 theme park predictions. Let's start with my picks from last year, and I said the first coaster to open would be Phoenix Rising at Busch Gardens Tampa. I did acknowledge there'd probably be some coasters opening in China or Dubai first, but just in terms of major coasters on our collective radar, I like Phoenix Rising. Busch Gardens Tampa is a year-round park. This is B&M. I didn't anticipate any delays, and this ended up opening on July 21st, not even close. Mini Coaster at Funland in Indonesia was the official winner, opening on January 20th. And when it comes to major coasters, the winner was Silver Dollar City and Fire in the Hole, opening on March 30th. For the coaster to open way too late, I said Georgia Surfer at Six Flags Over Georgia. This was a perfect storm of delays. Six Flags, Intamin prototype, has a launch. All of it added up to a late opening. In the end, it was pushed all the way to 2025. It wasn't alone. There were a bunch of projects that got pushed back a whole year. As for the coasters that actually opened in 2024, Phoenix Rising on July 21st was pretty late. For my sleeper hit, I chose All-American Triple Loop at Indiana Beach. Also, gave a nod to two coasters that never opened, Flash at Great Adventure and Twin Mill Racer at Mattel Adventure Park. Triple Loop used to be Chimera at La Feria in Mexico and had a great reputation before its accident. This opened with some bad restraints and the initial reviews were brutal, but since then, they've removed the shoulder restraints and apparently it's a lot better now. If I had to pick a sleeper hit, I'm looking to Vulture at Europa Park. For as hyped up as this was, it seems to have exceeded those expectations. Also, Mahuka at Wallaby Road Alps seems to have gotten a really good reception. For Best New Coaster, I noted there wasn't a great American option, and that was even before we knew how many American coasters would get delayed. I knew the golden ticket voters respect Europa Park, and I picked Voltron to win this award, and sure enough it did. For Best Steel Coaster, I figured Fury would win, but my fringe pick was Velocicoaster. It had been rocketing up the board from 18 to 5 to 3, and in 2024 it rose from 3 to 2, so it's right on the doorstep but can't top Fury. I also figured there was no wooden coaster that was in a spot to possibly challenge Phoenix for Best Wood, and of course, that ended up winning too. As for Best Park, Dollywood hosted the Golden Ticket Awards in 2023 and won this award for the first time, taking it from Europa Park. This year, it was at Kennywood, which would never win for Best Park, and with Voltron, I figured this would shoot up to the top spot, and it did. Europa is back on top. I was wrong about all my closures. I said Time Warp at Canada's Wonderland, Hurler at Carowinds, Flashback at Six Flags New England, and Sidewinder at Elitch Gardens. This one might actually come true. Sidewinder did not operate this year, but it's still not gone yet. I also thought Demon at Six Flags Great America might go down in favor of a new coaster, but they were able to work around it. So, what did close? There were a bunch of good options here. Obviously, King Nakan Green Lantern at Great Adventure, Lava Bora at Six Flags Over Texas, Scorpion at Busch Gardens Tampa, also Super Grover at SeaWorld San Antonio, and Wild Train at Fantasiana. For new coaster announcements, I said this was going to be hard coming off the merger, but I had 3 Cedar Fair and 2 Six Flags parks on my radar. I thought Six Flags New England would announce a replacement for Goliath, and that one paid off. I also said Six Flags America would get something like a Kid Flash coaster. Those have not worked out for their park, so that was a fail. For Cedar Fair, I was actually 3 for 3. I thought Knott's would replace Timberline Twister, and just a week after my video was released, they announced Snoopy's Tender Pot Twister coaster, and that opened this year. I thought Carowinds would get rid of Hurler and announce a new coaster. They did one of those things. They announced the Art Engineering Family Launch Coaster, Snoopy's Racing Railway. Finally, I said King's Dominion should get their volcano replacement on their 50th anniversary, and they announced the Launch B&M Wing, Rapterra. Speaking of 50th anniversaries, I thought Busch Gardens may follow suit, and they're getting a B&M family invert just like Phoenix Rising. Big Bad Wolf, The Wolf's Revenge. Other parks celebrating their 50th anniversary in 2025. Gardaland, no coaster. Faroop Summerland, no coaster. Wallaby Belgium, yes, they are getting a Gerstlauer family coaster. I called out SeaWorld San Antonio and San Diego. San Diego didn't happen, but San Antonio is getting a new Zero family coaster called Beach Rescue Racer. My 2 long shots were Hershey Park and Knoebels. Both gave us nothing in terms of coasters. So I did pretty good here, but I could have done better had I named Canada's Wonderland, Lost Island, and 2 parks I did not expect. Six Flags Great America announcing their dive coaster 1 year before their 50th anniversary, and Cedar Point getting Siren's Curse as a very last minute ad. Finally, my bold prediction was at least one Six Flags or Cedar Fair park would be up for sale, shut down, or under new ownership by today, and turns out that was too bold. They're taking this merger pretty slow, offering both chains parks as part of an all parks add-on, but that's it. Everything else is still separate, so any decision to kick a park out of the chain has not come that fast. That being said, they've already indicated they're going to get rid of some parks, so that may be coming down soon. Let's pivot to this year's predictions and start from the top. The first coaster to open may be interesting. This is kind of like 2021-2022 when we had all those completed coasters that got delayed by a year or two. We have 2 coasters at Codaland getting ready to go. Those are also in Austin, Texas, so they can open pretty much any time in the winter. Same with the coasters at Mattel Adventure Park in Arizona. Now that we know they're getting pushed past the new year for the grand opening, those could open very early. I don't know what the plan is there. They could also hold back until the summer season that starts in late May. Beach Rescue Coaster at SeaWorld San Antonio is also in a good location, and that won't take much time to build, test, and open. Aside from your random coaster in Asia or the UAE, I think the safest bet is Rapterra at King's Dominion. The track is already complete, so it seems like a slam dunk they'll have this open with the park in late March. The coaster that will open way too late is always hard to pin down. I think it could be Top Thrill 2, but that doesn't really qualify since it's not new for 2025. That being said, Siren's Curse won't be ready for opening day given the late start, but no way this gets delayed until late summer. Wrath of Rakshasa is the big new coaster for the Legacy Six Flags parks, and although I don't see a lot of issues that can pop up here, you never know with Six Flags. Dr. Diabolical is a similar coaster, and that opened at the end of July. My official guess is Alpenfury at Canada's Wonderland. Its launch. Winters in Canada are cold. This one could face some delays, both construction and mechanical. The sleeper hit of 2025 comes down to 2 coasters for me. Stardust Racers at Epic Universe could be awesome, like Velocicoaster, or it could be kinda mild, like Incredicoaster. I was very impressed by Siren's Curse and that layout. This could be a powerhouse of forces, and while everyone's talking about the circumstances that brought the coaster here, the quality of the coaster itself might be lost in the mix. Now, for the Golden Ticket Awards, and for Best New Coaster, I'm going with Alpenfury. This is a tough call. You have the coasters at Six Flags Qiddiya that should be opening next year, and even though nobody's actually going to ride Falcon's Flight, it might win the award for just being an epic historic coaster. Stardust Racers has a shot, but in the end, you have this 9-inversion coaster at a very popular park like Canada's Wonderland. This should take it home. For Best Steel Coaster, I figured Fury would win, and it did, but Velocicoaster keeps getting closer. So, will it take that last step and take it over the top spot? No chance. Carowinds is hosting the awards next year. They're not taking Fury's title away, not a chance. That would actually be kind of awkward if they did. For Best Wood, will Phoenix win once again? I would bet on it, but I think this year could mark a change. Thunderhead at Dollywood always ranks high, and I rode it this year and they did a great job fixing it up. The only thing is, I'm pretty sure the whole course had been retracked last year when Dollywood hosted it, and still, it couldn't win. How long will the voters keep giving this award to Phoenix? Who knows? Possibly forever. But if it's not Phoenix, I think it's Thunderhead. For Best Park, you have to consider the host, and even though I love Carowinds, that's not gonna win. Dollywood won last year, Europa won this year, and I'm gonna pick Silver Dollar City in 2025. They have the new Fire in the Hole. They're opening an expansion of the Grand Exposition next year. It could make the jump over Dollywood and over Europa. Dollywood getting ready for 2026, and Europa coming off their big addition in Voltron. I am always bad with closures, but let's take a crack at next year. When I first wrote this, because of initial rumors, I had Kingda Ka and Green Lantern on my radar for 2025. That came a little bit early. I am more confident that the Kid Flash coasters might be taken out. Both Six Flags Over Georgia and Fiesta Texas just giving up on them after less than 2 years. Flash Vertical Velocity at Discovery Kingdom has been around for almost a quarter century, but with a spotty operation, I'm gonna throw its name out there to close next year. King's Dominion and Canada's Wonderland are getting brand new coasters next year. They may use this opportunity to take down 2 of their coasters. I'm saying Anaconda on the King's Dominion side and Time Warp on Canada's Wonderland side. Magic Mountain is getting a new coaster in 2026, and they might take this chance to shut down Superman once and for all. That's been standing but not operating for a few months. Formula Rosa has also been down all year. We should get a final answer on that in this coming year. Look out for Blazing Fury at Dollywood. That could have the same fate as Fire in the Hole at Silver Dollar City. All eyes will also be on 2 American coasters that had major problems in 2024. Steel Curtain at Kennywood has been closed all year, and S&S has come in to reinforce it. If it has any kind of prolonged problems this year, it may be done. Also, of course, Top Thrill 2 could be in danger if Zamperla can't fix it, but I don't think they'll pull the plug if things go wrong this year. They have more options up their sleeve. As for new coasters, Six Flags already gave us a window into their plans. Magic Mountain, Mexico, and Over Texas should all get new coasters in 2026. Magic Mountain is getting a first-of-its-kind coaster in North America, Mexico is getting a family boomerang, and over Texas is getting a dive. One other park to keep your eye on, Valley Fair. They weren't on the press release, but this park is starting for a new coaster, almost 20 years since Renegade, and they're celebrating their 50th anniversary in 2026, so this is a perfect time to get a new coaster, maybe a B&M Inver of Vekoma suspended thrill coaster. There are a few other parks set up for a 50th anniversary celebration in 2026, including Six Flags Great America, but they jumped the gun and they're getting their new coaster next year. California's Great America, but that park isn't going to invest in anything big, set to close sometime in the next 9 years. And then, you have Everland in South Korea, keep your eye out for that one. This may be surprising, but we have 2 American parks celebrating their 100th anniversary in 2026. That includes Knoebels, and they're long overdue for a new coaster, and I think they get something. Also, Indiana Beach. Maybe they take that Schwarzkopf shuttle loop they stole from Niagara Amusement Park, and they set that up as their big new 100th birthday coaster. Some other random parks to keep your eye on. Adventureland in Iowa might continue its expansion 3 years after Flying Viking. Dollywood is set up for a big new indoor ride. Could be a coaster, we'll find out next year. Maybe Blazing Fury 2.0. Alton Towers may finally reveal what Secret Weapon 9 is all about, now that Nemesis is back up and running. Also, Energylandia may get back on the horse and add something new for 2026. They've pulled back the last couple years. They canceled their tilt coaster, so who knows if they'll pick it back up, or if their days of extravagance are over. I'd say a new coaster for 2026 is a 50-50 shot. As for the SeaWorld chain, I wouldn't be surprised to see Orlando get back to it, taking a year off coasters to build a flying theater, as well as SeaWorld San Diego. They let me down this year, but I would not be surprised to see them get something like a surf coaster next. I would also say, keep your eye on Busch Gardens Tampa. They removed Scorpion. That could be related to something new. Could be big or small, who knows. I'd call a new coaster for them in 2026 an outside shot. Last one, my bold prediction. I say that some park somewhere is going to order the first ever B&M Giga Dive and the first ever Vekoma Hypercoaster. These could easily go to a bunch of parks in Europe or Asia, especially that Vekoma Hyper, but I think these have a shot in America also. Over Texas could very well get that 300-foot dive, and a Vekoma Hyper would be awesome at Dollywood or Silver Dollar City. However, it could also pop up in the Six Flags chain. They've started to work with Vekoma, and I have no reason to believe they're going to stop. Look out for that announcement in 2025. If it happens, I'll be back next year to brag about it. So there you go. Let me know what you think, if you agree or disagree with any of my predictions, and if you have anything else to add, sound off in the comments below. Before you go, don't forget to drop a like, and if you want to see how bad these predictions turned out to be, give me a sub and come back next Thanksgiving for the final verdict. Also, check out my second channel where I post copyright-free off-ride footage. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.